Today on Abrasive and Proud of It Live, we're going to be talking Carbide Turning Tools.
Love it when we're live. I'm Chris, and I'm in the studio. We're going to talk about blades.
And what you'll notice is that it's in the on position, but the tip is not hot. Okay, so I'm not going to burn myself.
Just like that, this is called jogging. This is my kind of jog. I'm not into that heavy physical fitness stuff, so this works out good for me.
Today we're going to be talking about chucks, and the cold jaws would be for taking and holding the bulb this way.
We always recommend leaving at least a 1/16 inch gap. It actually moves up and down and side to side that are great if you're just looking to get something small to do some little tinkering with. And welcome to Abrasive and Proud of It Live. This is Thursday, April 7th, 2022. We sure appreciate you stopping in to check us out and see what's happening on Turning Thursday. We've got Chris behind the table there. And Chris, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today.
Today we're going to be talking about Carbide Turning Tools, the benefits of them, how to sharpen them, how to use them, all the different features from negative rake scrapers to regular positive rake to hollowing tools, all kinds of things that we normally get questions about, and all the confusion there kind of is. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, the main benefit with Carbide Turning Tools is you don't really have to go through the learning curve of how to hold the tool and maneuver the tool. So you don't have to figure out, hey, I need to move my arm this way and roll it as I'm pushing through the cut and stuff like that. All you really need to do is stick it on your tool rest and put the tip of the tool up against the material of the lathe or the material of wood, and just start cutting away to the shape you need. Also, number two, the benefit about Carbide Turning Tools is they're very simple to sharpen. Only thing you really need is a diamond stone and the tip of the tool itself. We'll go to this one. See how the tip of the tip of the tool, it has a flat spot on it. You just flip it upside down onto your diamond stone and run it around on a circle like that, and you kind of just keep going until you hear the scratch pattern kind of get finer there. And then you know your tool is pretty much refreshed. It won't get it 100% to brand new, but it'll get it pretty close. So if you're in a pinch, either budget-wise or you don't want to run to the store or wait for a new tip to come in, you can kind of touch it up yourself. You don't have to go ahead and get another one. That will work with everything but the negative rake scrapers. So if we go to this camera here, if you can kind of see that that shiny part there on the tip of the tool, you can't really sharpen that unless you figure out how to make some kind of jig to where you could. So only the traditional flat carbide turning tool. Let me go down my list here. Negative rake cutters, as I just showed, have that slight slant. I believe Chris has a picture there for you. Yeah, right there. So the negative rake scraper has a benefit of when you're turning harder woods or in grain or even resin, it'll actually peel the cut up. And we have another picture there of kind of explaining, no, the other one. Yep, there you go. See the picture on your far right there of how the curl is actually curling up and going straight upwards. So with a negative rake scraper, if you're going to do resin, it'll actually shoot the shaving straight upwards and kind of get you a cleaner cut, and also help prevent chatter marks and rough tear out and stuff like that. Moving on, we have a lot of different options here at Klingspor. We have Easy Wood, Rikon, and Sorby. We can start off with our big name here, Easy Wood. They have a ton of different options, anywhere from micro turning tools. Sorry, we're having technical difficulty. Micro turning tools. You can see here they're about the size. And there we go. They're about the size of your hand, maybe a little bit bigger. So this, if you're going to be doing fine detail work, okay, there we go. If you're going to be doing fine detail work, like if you're going to get into finials and stuff like that, these nice little small tools here is kind of what that's going after. We have anywhere from kits to where you can buy them yourselves. For the micro ones, if we go to this camera here, you can see the tip of the diamond. We probably need to go back there and talk about the different tip options. But the tip of the diamond here is really, really fine. That way, if you ever want to do like a really sharp cut or something like that, you can use those. We also have the square cutter there. That's mainly for your roughing cuts, or if you want to use it as a parting tool of some sort like that. And then we also what's called the finish cut is normally your round tip. And those are the three basic tips. We do have other options here at Klingspor, anywhere from tips that you can put onto them. This is actually a Sorby tip, so it'd be for the Sorby system. We also have these kind of tips in the Rikon. Not for the Easy Wood. The Easy Wood, you got to buy the hollowing tool themselves. But this way, if you want to get into like doing hollow forms, or you want to make a nice lip on a bowl, these paisley tips or mushroom tips, whatever they're called, is kind of what that would be after. Going along with the Easy Wood, from the small stuff all the way to the mid-sized stuff, and we even have big monster ones. If you plan on seriously roughing out some tools, you can really hold on to the material and just remove some wood and rough out some things really quick. We also have a good middle ground in between the two. We have these, as I said, are the middle ones, but we also have ones that are in between that and the small, and in between this one and the big one. So that's kind of, we have Easy Wood tools to fit anyone, pretty much, is kind of what I'm getting at there. Easy Wood also has some hollowing tools, as I mentioned. This would be their regular, like they call it a #1 hollowing tool. So essentially what it is a round tipped, let me go back here, a round tipped hollowing tool. And so if you doing a hollow form or something like that, this will be doing your beginning cuts, trying to hollow out that middle there. And we also have what they call a #2, which is your swan neck style. And then we also have a #3. And what these would be for, your #2 would be for, the first one I showed would be for, this one's the #2 and this one's the #3. The #2 would be for making that first part of the hollow form bigger. I wish we had a picture, making that first part of the hollow form bigger. And this one would be for really getting on the back side. Say if my hand is the whole of the hollow form and I needed to cut on the back side of my hand, then that really sharp curve of the swan neck allows me to touch back there. If I had the #2, I really can't reach that. You can kind of see how I really can't get there with that. We have all kinds of different sizes of those. So if you're doing anything from little bitty boxes all the way up to big vases, we have any size to fit you there. Easy Wood also has a carbide parting tool. So for you guys who don't like sharpening your parting tool, this is a really good option, because it actually has a negative rake scraper on it. So it'll cut good on any material of wood. Excuse me. And then also, what's nice about this one is this is their second version of their parting tool. And if you can see here, it's got those two big bolts right there. And that way, this entire piece will come directly out, and you can replace this entire piece. The old version, you had to replace the tip, and once you took the tip out, they were kind of chintzy on whether they would fall out or not. So this second version of this parting tool is very, very nice. We also have the Rikon set here. With this set, you pretty much buy all three tools in one. So you get three heads, you get the handle, you get the three tips, and the tool to take out the take off the tips. What the big benefit about this is a whole lot more affordable than buying, say, if you bought two Easy Woods, you'd pretty much be at the price of this Rikon turning tool itself. So that's a big key factor for a lot of people. They can get all three tools for a nice friendly budget. The other thing about this tool is it's actually an interchangeable head. It's got a collet system. If we can go to this camera here, so it's got a keyway kind of on the end of the tool there, and it's also got the bolt. So you just slip it in there. Slip it in there. This one's a little tightened up because it hasn't been used before. You slip it in there, tighten down the collet, and then you're good to go. The other nice thing about the Rikon set here is that you have your flat all the way to the tip of the tool. That way you can get real close with your tool rest and your tool, but it's also got this chamfer 45 on there. That way, if you want to get a nice shear cut, we have a picture there of kind of what I'm talking about. You can kind of get a bit of a, there you go, get a bit of a cleaner cut there. So you can turn the tool on a 45 and kind of get a nicer clean cut of wood off. We have a lot of different options for this Rikon set. As is the big seller, we have anything from handle extenders. Where are we at here? Go back to there we go. We have handle extenders, so all you got to do is screw off the end piece here, screw on the handle extender, and then screw this base cap on again. The other nice thing is the tool itself is completely hollow. That way, if this is not heavy enough for you, you can throw some lead shot in there or whatever you have to kind of make it heavier, even rocks if you were into that kind of stuff. Screw that cap back on there, and now you have a longer handle tool, but you also have a heavier handle tool, so you can reduce your vibration, reduce your chatter, and just have a bigger tool. We also have the tools, the handles by themselves. So if you wanted to have a extended one where you had it completely extended all the way and got all the benefits of having the extension, and you can also make it heavier, but we also sell the tool handle by itself. That way, if you want to have one fully extended and one shortened, you can have that kind of those kind of options as well. Going back to the cutters here, we have all kinds of different options. We have the paisley tips. I'll go to the close-up camera here. We have the paisley tips. We have a right side version and a left side version. What the kind of differences between those is, say I had the tip of the tool here and the paisley. So if it's a left side like this one, and your lathe is spinning this way, so you would be able to use you would kind of be able to hollow with this tool, and the right side would be going off the other way. And that way, if you have reverse on your lathe, you can kind of get into a little bit of a tighter corner with having that right-sided paisley there. We also have what I like to call a probe tip tool. That way, if you want to do some heavy hollowing, like I was talking about with the Easy Wood, or you wanted to remove the bulk of the material out of your hollow form or something like that, you can use this. But also this benefits of is that you can swivel all the way around, right or left, whatever side of the tool you want. And this one is underrated in my opinion. A lot of people don't know what the benefit of this tool would be. This one is like a half moon, I guess, half moon shape you can say. And it's wider than the regular round shape. Let me find it here. So this is the regular here, and this is the half moon. So with carbide tools, a lot of times you'll have a lot of marks that you need to get rid of. So if I should have brought a bowl here with me. So if you actually say this is the this is my spindle work and these two grooves on this handle. With your regular round cutter or roughing tool, you would end up with a lot of lines going across the wood there. And this big wide one will actually kind of clean those lines up, and that way you can kind of get a consistent cut all the way in. And that's really handy for the inside of like hollow forms and stuff like that. Any questions for me, Chris?
Nope.
Okay.
Old Jerry Miesenberg just wanted to tell you, hey.
Hey, Jerry. For you who do not know, Jerry Miesenberg is a really, really good wood turner. He's been on our channel before. He turns a lot of cowboy hats and hummingbird houses. He was here at our Hickory store doing cowboy hats recently, and it was a great demo. Moving along, we also have the Sorby options. This is what they like to call the Turnmaster. And it was kind of the first on the market, in my opinion, that did really well for the carbide tool game. And the main benefit of this one is you have your flat bar all the way across the back to do your regular 90 degree. We just sticking on your tool rest and moving around. But it's also got this big nut on the end of it. And what's nice about that is it has an indentation all the way across on the tip there. Let me kind of get into focus. There you go. It's got 3 indentions. Your middle one will be your standard 90 degree, and then your other ones will be your 45. And that way you can have your flat, so you're flat on your tool rest here, and then have your tip at a 45. And then going back to the picture, then again, you can kind of get that nice shear cut and get a little bit cleaner of a cut.
So that's probably a little more stable than the narrow flat.
Yes.
That was on the Rikon.
Yes. Rikon has a flat all the way across it, and it's pretty good. But having a wider one is obviously better. And if you look at the Easy Wood here, this one here is this is their square cutter tip, but it's just a square stock all the way around, so you can't do any kind of 45. You could hold it there, but then you're more likely to catch because you're only leaning on that little bitty chamfer off the square stock, so you could catch either way really easily there. For the Robert Sorby, we have all kinds of options as well. We have the Paisley tips. One thing I will mention first, though, before we go into the tips too much, the Robert Sorby tips come with high-speed steel. So if it comes in a package, pretty much just like this one, it doesn't say carbide or anything on it like that. That means it's high-speed steel, so you can sharpen it with your regular grinder and keep using it. The other thing about Sorby is they sell a tip holder, and that way you can set it on the base of your bench grinder flat and have a lot of support with sharpening the tip of the tool. They do have carbide. They also have this one here. It's called the titanium nitride. Obviously your carbide, everybody loves carbide, and you can cut harder woods with it, but you can't sharpen it as good as factory. With the titanium nitride and high-speed steel, you can actually get a sharper edge on the tool. Like this titanium nitride it's got that gold coating all the way around it, and then it's underneath it is that high-speed steel. So you get the rigidity of the high-speed steel, but you get the razor sharpness of that titanium nitride, which will get sharper than the high-speed steel and the carbide combined. And going back to all the different shapes and sizes and everything like that, The Sorby, there are a lot of tip options. Like you can kind of put these paisleys on there. They also have like that probe that I showed you from Rikon. They also have this teardrop shape that you can put on there. And you can use this side kind of like that big one I showed you with the Rikon to kind of clean all your cuts up together. And then you can also use this side for a detailer and kind of use this one all the way around and not really have to replace the tip of your tool. The other thing about Sorby I will mention real quick while we're on the tip of the tool, these they can come off as I showed earlier, and you can actually buy extras of these and you can just replace them off and on rather than taking off that little screw and having the possibility of stripping that out. You can just take it off and replace the tip, put your new one back on, and go back to work. Daryl from Robert Sorby, who we had on our channel a while back ago, he's got one of these tips with about every single tip that Sorby offers with it. Any questions for me real quick, Chris?
No, sir.
Sorby also offers what they call I believe it's a multi-tip tool, something along that lines. If you see it on our website, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. It's pretty much a bigger flat version of this on the backside, but it eliminates this brass nut. So it eliminates this brass nut here, and on the back side, it's got a flat all the way to the tip, and it's got a screw on the back that you can put bigger tips on, like these here that I have. You can do beading and cove tips. You can put dovetail tips on it, like these here. This would be to make your bead. You got your cove tips as well, and these will actually kind of fit each other perfectly. That way, if you want to make something that's kind of perfect, like 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch or whatever, you can kind of buy this set that we offer that's got all three of these tips. We also sell them individually, so you can get what you need and not have extra and pay for extra. That tool also comes with these 3 tips I will talk about real quick. The nice thing about that tool that I actually have personally is it's got this rounded tip, so you can use it as a hollower, you can use it as a rougher. So when I first started, I had a hollower that would do almost everything, and this one got a rounded over tip, kind of right there. You can sharpen it with your regular grinder. It's also got a square cutter tip, so you can cut your right there. You can see that square cut. That way you can cut your dovetail for your mortise and tenon. And then it also comes with a bigger version of this spear tip. That way you can clean up the inside of your box or vessel or whatever you're doing. They also offer what they like to call a probe tip, and this one's round all the way, and then it's got a kind of like I was talking about with the last one. It's got a threaded bolt on there, and you can swivel this all the way right or left, whatever you have, and that way, kind of like the Easy Wood here, you can get in, remove all the material you need to, and you can also swivel that head and get deeper and deeper if you need to. You can also put some of the paisley tips on there and stuff like that. So just kind of keep a watch out for what tips will work and what won't. If you have any questions, just give us a call. We're here Monday through Friday, and we have everybody, and we have one person at least in every single store that knows something about turning. We can get you taken care of if you ever have any questions.
Old Jerry says you got him wanting to do hollow form now.
Hollow forms are fun. Hopefully on a Turning Thursday, we can get into hollow forms and my kind of crazy method. We don't have much along the lines of like stability bars and stuff like that, but we do have enough to get you started with doing hollow forms from 4 to 6 inch size stuff. Any other questions, Chris, there?
Nope.
Well, that about covers it for what we have for Carbide Turning Tools. When we get into the series where we're actually using them, I can kind of show you how to use like the square, the diamond, and the rounds and stuff like that. And then we can kind of get in depth from there. But today we're just going over the basis of the benefits and features and the accessories and stuff like that.
Sounds good. What do you think you got for us next week, Chris, so the viewers know what to tune in for?
Next week we're going to be talking about sharpening. I don't know yet on, I think we'll probably do a couple parts kind of like we did with chucks and traditional tools and carbide. But I think we're going to start with sharpening, possibly starting out with like a low speed grinder like everybody does, and then move into like you want to step up and buy a Tormac or a Sorby Pro Edge, stuff like that. We can kind of walk our way up to getting turning and everything like that there.
Sweet. Sounds like that might be a 2 or 3 part series.
Yep.
Even.
Yeah, with turning, there's a lot to cover. So we're going to try to do it in small increments, and that way people can go back and look for, hey, he talked about Tormac or carbide in that video, rather than one big massive video and trying to file through in 2 hours or 3 hours of me talking, because nobody wants to see that long of a video anyways.
Well, and that helps us break it up a little bit and fit into the abrasive and proud of it, roughly 30-minute window.
Yep.
And obviously we ain't stuck to that. So if it's a little less or a little more, we're here to make sure you get all the information you can. And if there's questions you have after watching this, maybe you've watched it online post production, feel free to leave a message in those comments below the video, or you can call us 800-228-0000. You can visit us online at woodworkingshop.com, hit that little chat button, and somebody there can help you. You can also say, hey, call any of the stores and say, I got questions on turning. We're here to help. And if somebody can't, you get a hold of us at the main number, somebody will help you through it.
Yep. The dumbest question you can ask is the one you don't. So just keep that in mind.
I've asked some pretty dumb questions before.
Well, everybody starts somewhere.
But we certainly appreciate everybody watching. We hope you guys all have a great day. And, hey, happy turning.
We'll see you next Thursday.